Hey Pinal County, what is happening? It's Rofida Khairalla here, and you are watching Backstory, where we give you the little known facts behind the latest headlines. And today I'm talking to you about something a little unrelated to Pinal County, and that is my latest trip to Egypt. So I hope you enjoy, and let's go take a look. So if you've met me before, you probably already know this, but if you haven't, my family and I are actually from Egypt. In October of last year, my grandfather passed away, which led me and my mom, that's her, to decide we were long overdue for a visit. Up until that point, I hadn't seen my family in Egypt for over 15 years. For part of the time that I was in Egypt, I was working remotely. That was actually a very interesting experience because there is a 9-hour time difference between there and here. The rest of the day I would spend with my family, and at about 8 p.m. over there, which was 11 a.m., I would join our newsroom for our daily newsroom check-in. And then after that, I would have dinner with my family, and we would call it a night. Or, as we did pretty much every night, go out exploring. Because this was a trip that was much more focused on family, we didn't go to very many places. We really just spent much of our time with family, but nonetheless, it was such a wonderful trip because no matter what you do or where you go, there's always something to do in Egypt, which is something that has always surprised me so much. In addition to just spending time with family, we also tried lots of different foods, from traditional Egyptian dishes to innovative things like this avocado smoothie. This was a really interesting one because it was a blend of avocado, milk, and honey, and then it's topped with nuts. I've never tried anything like this before. While I was there, we also took a day trip to a farm, and that was incredible to see. I think a lot of the times when we think of Egypt, we think of desert, sort of the way we would think of Arizona as being a desert landscape. But Egypt is actually incredibly green. It was just amazing to just get to hang out in all of this lush greenery, and to be, around nature. While we were at the farm, we also ate one of my favorite dishes, which is called fatir. It was served with another one of my favorite things, an Egyptian sour cream called ishta. Food in Egypt is definitely a different experience just because we have different kinds of foods and even different kinds of animals. One of the animals I was super excited to see up close and in person because I've always heard about it, but never have I seen it before, is an Egyptian buffalo, or what we call in Arabic a gamusa. This is something like a cow, but we don't have these kinds of cows here in America. But they're predominantly used in Egypt for their milk production. They produce a fattier milk, which is used for all sorts of foods. During my stay, I also took a trip to Alexandria to visit family on my father's side, and that was a very cool experience as well. We even got to see more cows crossing. In Egypt, you see that a lot on some of the roads. On our way up, we passed through an area called Dessouq, which is right on the Nile. Of course, we also got to see Alexandria, which is such a remarkable city. It's right there on the sea, and I've never really seen anything quite like it before. It's definitely got its unique character to it. It's a modern city with just a mix of high-rises, modern architecture, and historical landmarks. It's really just a beautiful city and definitely a must-see if you ever go to Egypt. And because most of the time I live in landlocked Arizona, when we went, I insisted on eating seafood, and we went to this gorgeous restaurant located next to a well-known historical site in Egypt. The food was undoubtedly delicious, and they also had incredible entertainment in the form of this musician who was playing the lute. And because I was there in March this year, I got to spend the first day of Ramadan with my family, and we even got to put up traditional decorations together. And while there's always something to do in Egypt, what really makes Egypt a wonderful place to visit is the people. Thanks again for joining me on this latest episode of Backstory. If you liked this content, make sure you like and subscribe for more episodes like this.